just like in Zetsuba no Shima, the Eisendrache, Shadows of Evil, even the Giant, GOROD KROVI has many ciphers. In fact, I am very excited to uncover the different ciphers we have in here, but right now a couple have been solved. And one of them is on the computer screen for Sophia. As soon as you go into turn on the power, Sophia, as you will know, is now a machine, and if you look on the screen of her, you will notice there is a cipher. Now this cipher has already been solved by someone called DarkMegaHot over on the COD Zombies Reddit, so as always, I will link that down in the description. You guys do an absolutely amazing job, but you can see the cipher up on screen now, and when you decode this, it reads something very, very interesting. It says, reality or dream? It is becoming harder and harder to tell. He came to me again last night whilst I was walking through the countryside. He told me about a location of a book called the KRONORIUM. He said that Richtofen needs to acquire it if we are ever going to set things right. The book contains a location of a device called the summoning key. I will contact Richtofen in the morning. So this is really, really freaking interesting. We have information about the KRONORIUM, the summoning key, and a couple of different characters. But the big question is, who is writing this cipher? Reality or dream? It is becoming harder and harder to tell. I believe it may be Dr. Maxis for two reasons. One is because this person is in direct contact with Richtofen, which would straight away point to Maxis, but this person also says that he came to me again last night whilst I was on my walk through the countryside. And we had a few ciphers and radios in Zetsuba no Shima where Maxis specifically spoke of someone called he. He referred to someone as he, which again would make me think that it is Maxis that is writing this cipher.
That was before he came. Samantha has been returned to me once more. He explained everything to me. He will explain everything to you. Though his very presence defied logic, defied reason, he told me that he would help. I could not refuse.
So going through it, it says reality or dream. It is becoming harder and harder to tell. He came to me again last night while I was on my walk through the countryside. This person that came to Maxis, this he, has been to him before. And like I said in Zetsuba no Shima, in the radios, Maxis says to Richtofen that he will explain everything to you. That this mysterious character has come to the door of the house and returned the children, who is Samantha. Which makes me think the person that took Samantha is the same person that went to Maxis whilst he was on his nightly walk. He carries on by saying he told me about a location of a book called the KRONORIUM. He said that Richtofen needs to acquire it if we are ever going to set things right, and the book contains the location of a device called the summoning key. I will contact Richtofen in the morning. If this person that came to Maxis is telling him about a location of a book called the KRONORIUM, then this means that this cipher is very, very old. Whilst we don't know exactly when Richtofen started to study the KRONORIUM, we can bet it was between the 2 years that he was missing after Origins. So sometime just after Origins, 1918, it could be up to 1945, the Giant, but it would make more sense for him to start studying and learn about the KRONORIUM right after Origins. If that's the case, then this means that if Richtofen learnt about the KRONORIUM, let's say 1918, if that's the case, well, this cipher is telling us he told me about a location of a book called the KRONORIUM, which must mean Maxis wrote this cipher a while ago. I was also thinking, is he Dr. Monty? We've recently heard who we think is Dr. Monty speak to us within the game, and he actually seems pissed, but he wants to help us. He says the world is fractured, you've done this, you've broke everything, but guess what? We're gonna fix it. Dr. Monty, if this is him, seems like he actually wants to help us. And again, going back to this cipher, this person that visited Maxis has told him about this book called the KRONORIUM. He's told him what he needs to do, and this person wants to help Maxis. So if we link those two up, could this actually be Dr. Monty? From the radios we heard in Zetsuba no Shima, Dr. Maxis describes he as someone who defies very reason, someone who defies logic. And we hear Dr. Monty and GOROD KROVI, but we don't know where he's talking to us from. We never see him. It's just the voice that's coming out of the sky talking to us, which could indicate that maybe Dr. Monty is in Argotha or in somewhere out of this universe watching us, and if that's the case, that would mean Dr. Monty very well does defy logic. So again, we have a few links here to show that he may be Dr. Monty. This also confirms, and this went straight over my mind, but the KRONORIUM is in fact a book. The only other problem I have with this, if it's Maxis writing this, is that Maxis in Origins didn't have a physical form. He was the formless one. He was inside of a drone. So it's unlikely that Maxis is going to be walking through the countryside. I mean, maybe he wrote this cipher before he got decapitated by Richtofen, and so it could have been 1917. I guess that's possible, but then that also brings up the question as to, is it really Maxis that's writing this, or is it someone else? The only person I can think of that would write something like this and would tell them about the KRONORIUM and about a device called the summoning key is Dr. Maxis, but who knows? It's not very clear. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. As always, drop a like rating. As soon as more information comes out, I'll be sure to update you, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Thank you, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.